Hey everyone, welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host, my name is Victoria Daisy, and today is our first official episode. How exciting! But today we are going to be recapping everything that happened last night when Monday Night Raw debuted on Netflix. Now, it was an absolutely incredible show. No skip matches. There were so many fun surprises. We got new champions, a lot of celebrity appearances, and we got to talk about it all. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Now, let's dive deep into everything that happened Raw on Netflix. Okay, we have to start by talking about the very beginning, okay? Now, if you guys have Netflix or don't have Netflix, I just need you to sign up. I need you to watch it if you didn't get to watch it in real time because it was insane. The beginning alone, my gosh. So I saw on Twitter earlier in the day yesterday that the ring and the entrance ramp was all covered with I don't even know what you would call it. A curtain? No, not a curtain. I don't even know. Drape? I don't even know. Whatever. It was covered, okay? And when people started getting into the arena, projected on the drape or whatever that was covering the ring, it said the Raw on Netflix logo, whatever. And WWE has never really done that before, and so that was a bit alarming when I saw that. I was like, what is happening? And then when the show started, they posted a video earlier yesterday on social media. It was like a cool evolution of Raw, I guess you could say, just going through the years of Raw's biggest moments, and it was really cool. And then they played it during Raw, and they projected it onto the drape that was covering the ring. I don't know, it was cool. And so I was like, oh wow, this is epic, this is fun. And then all of a sudden, when the video ended, a big loud pyro just popped, and then it fell, and Triple H was literally just standing there, cross hands and everything. And I was like, biggest jaw drop ever. And it was so crazy, so freaking cool. And then he basically just welcomed everybody to the show, welcomed everyone on Netflix. There was a lot of Netflix executives and producers there. They had their own suite. Nick Khan was in the front row. Stephanie McMahon was in the front row. It was just so cool. So now let's get into the actual meat of the show. The opening segment was The Rock. Now, I think he confirmed earlier in the day yesterday that he was going to be there, but it was honestly still such a jump scare. And I didn't expect them to open with him. I thought we were going to get John Cena or go right into the bloodline match. So he came out, he cut a promo, but not really. It wasn't really like a promo. He was just thanking Netflix and just being a face of the company. It was giving very TKO energy of him. And so that was fun. That was cool. And then Cody was by the commentary table, but in the front row of the crowd. And so he went over, just kind of cracked some jokes with him, very babyface Rock, and that was pretty much it. Kind of like what Triple H did, but coming from The Rock. I don't know. It was interesting. It was fun. Got the ratings up, got the fans excited, crowd went bananas. But the first match of the night was the Tribal Combat match. Winner takes the Ula Fala and becomes the official tribal chief. It was Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns. Now, this match was intense and crazy. The crowd was super engaged. Solo was beating the crap out of Roman, and I didn't expect him to take that much heat for as long as he did. It was crazy. There were so many weapons, and I really love that because sometimes when we have matches where it's anything goes and you can use weapons, sometimes they don't utilize the weapons kind of how I'd want them to. And then of course Bloodline 2.0 interferes and the whole shenanigans begins. And then eventually Jimmy and Sammy come out. Jay didn't come out because he had his match later on in the night with Drew, which we'll get to soon. And then Kevin came out, Cody came out, a whole thing. It felt like a bootleg version of WrestleMania 40's night number 2 main event when everyone was coming out. It felt like a bootleg version. I just felt like everyone kept coming out and I was like, what are we doing? But it's fine. It was still great. And then Roman won, and then The Rock came out and I was like, oh my God, here we go. We are buckling up for WrestleMania's main event, WrestleMania 41. I was like, here we go. And then that didn't quite happen. I thought that was going to happen, but it didn't. Rock stayed as a babyface and he put the Ula Fala over Roman and they hugged it out, and that was really it. I was expecting more, But I don't really know when that match is going to happen. Let me know down below when you guys think that match is going to happen if you're watching on YouTube or in the comment section on Spotify if that's where you're listening. I don't know. I thought we were going to get it at WrestleMania 41, or maybe we'll start that storyline a little further down the line. I don't really know. It was very interesting, but the match was very fun, very good. I predicted that Solo was going to win. I don't know why. I just thought they were going to drag this out a little longer, but maybe they're not, obviously, because Roman won. And he is the OTC now, the original tribal chief, the only tribal chief, the official tribal chief. So this is definitely going to be very interesting to see where this storyline takes off from here on SmackDown. It's going to be so incredible, I already know. But of course, what Bloodline match would it be if the Bloodline 2.0 didn't interfere? So we're still waiting on Tangaloa's return. I believe he is injured. He got injured Survivor Series War Games. I think it was his toe. I think his foot, something down there. I don't remember. All right. The very next thing we've got to talk about was the very next thing that happened right after that. And it was John Cena coming out for his segment. He cut a promo, as we were suspecting. And my gosh, guys, he declared for the Royal Rumble. And if you guys have been following me for at least a month, you would know that I haven't shut up about the fact that I am going in 3 weeks, Indianapolis, and I am so excited. The Royal Rumble is my favorite PLE, and the fact that I will get to see John Cena is absolutely baffling. I haven't seen John Cena live, wow, probably since maybe, I don't know, maybe 2017, 2018, something around there. I haven't seen him in a very long time. And so it's going to be so exciting. He officially embarked on his 2025 farewell tour. I am so excited because now that he's declared for the Royal Rumble, the possibility of him winning is now reality. And I know CM Punk is so dead set on him winning the Royal Rumble, but now I'm like, who's going to win? CM Punk or John Cena? And it's so interesting because if CM Punk wins, he's probably going to go after Gunther. But if John Cena wins, he's probably going to go after Cody. And so something that I'll talk about closer to the Royal Rumble, maybe a week before or my preview, I'll go more in depth, but I do want to touch on it a little bit right now. I was thinking about Cody and his title reign, and the fact that the build up to his title reign was so large. And I mean, it took 2 years just for him to win that title. And so for him to finally win it, beat Roman Reigns, I mean, that was such a big moment, and his title reign has been such a big deal that I'm like, he just can't lose to just anybody. He's not going to lose to Kevin at the Rumble, and it's not going to just be anybody. And I think if it's anybody, it has to be John Cena. It's the only logical person that I can think of to beat Cody for that title, because if it's not John Cena, who is it going to be? That's going to mean something. That's going to have purpose, and that's going to be worth it because Cody's reign is such a big deal. So I would love Cena to become 17-time champ. Right now, he's tied with Ric Flair at 16. So for him to be the all-time greatest world champion ever, to hold that many championships, would be absolutely insane and incredible for him in his career. And, you know, now that we're in the last year of Cena's career, I now am starting to think about, and the questions are coming up, of when is he going to get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? Now, I don't think it's going to be this year, but I would definitely maybe put some money on next year. I think this year we should see Bray Wyatt get inducted, you know, just to honor his life and his amazing career that he had. But that's another topic for another day. We'll get to that when WrestleMania season really comes into full effect. But I do think that John Cena should get inducted at least next year, because I know he's going to do some really incredible work this year in his farewell tour, and it's going to just be absolutely insane. But with that being said, let me know down below if you guys think that Cena is going to win the Rumble, or will it be Punk? I don't know. Or will it be somebody else? But I highly doubt it. I just don't know. I just feel like if you're going to have Cena in the Rumble for like, what is it, an hour and a half? Especially him being like, what, 48, 49, no offense. I mean, come on. Like, he needs to win it. And unless you want him to win the Chamber, but I don't know. And then also, like, CM Punk has never won the Rumble, and he's never made evented WrestleMania. So, like, I really want that for him biasedly. But, like, I think CM Punk will be around for another, at most, 4 years. No, that's exaggerated. I don't know. Maybe even more. So, I don't know. CM Punk definitely has more opportunities than John Cena. So, the clock is ticking for him. But let's see. So the next thing that happened was the women's world championship match against Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Now, I thought this was the last woman standing match. That's what they promoted originally, right? Am I hallucinating? Is this a Mandela effect? I don't know, but I thought it was the last woman standing match. And then I saw Liv try and pin Rhea, and I was like, oh, what's going on? So this was insane, top to bottom. If you guys saw my preview video that I posted on Instagram and TikTok, I think yesterday, I talked about how this is Rhea's last chance to win this title for a while. This needs to be the end of the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan rivalry. It has gone on for far too long. Not saying it's a drag. It's been very entertaining. Lots of plot twists. Very interesting, and a lot of intertwining storylines with the Judgment Day and Damian Priest and all these different people, Raquel coming into the mix. But it's definitely been interesting. And so I don't know. I think this match was great. First of all, Rhea was so vicious. It was quite literally hard to process the intensity I saw in her eyes. I have never seen Rhea this more determined and ambitious to win that title than I did last night. It was crazy. Obviously, Dom and Raquel were out there. I'm shocked that they didn't really get that much involved. Like, they did a little bit, but like, I was expecting something crazy. And then I talked about it yesterday, how I thought that Becky Lynch was going to return to help Rhea win the championship if Raquel and Dom were interfering, and then that could start something with Becky and Liv, whatever, and run it back. But none of that happened, which I'm like, okay, we didn't get Charlotte, we didn't get Becky, we didn't get Alexa Bliss, so I'm like, are we going to get them at the Rumble? Which selfishly, since I'm going, obviously I haven't shut up about that, I'd want to see that. But now I'm like, I don't know. Will we get them next week? Will we just get them at the Rumble another time? Really reliable sources have been saying that they're both confirmed to come back, like ASAP. So I don't know. We shall see. But Dom and Raquel tried to help Liv and failed. And then eventually Rhea hit the Riptide. I believe she hit it twice, if I'm not mistaken. And then Rhea won. She won the WWE Women's World Championship, the title she never lost. Yes, I'm banging on the table. I don't know if you can even hear that, but she won the title she never lost. So well deserved. That's my freaking champion. The fact that you're telling me that Tiffany and Rhea are my women's champions is absolutely insane. Like, they are my two favorite women's wrestlers right now in the WWE. So to have them both as my champions, I am obsessed. My Barbie goth girl queens, I should say. They're so opposites, but I love them. And I love this for SmackDown. I love this for Raw. It's going great. And then, oh my God, Dom is probably one of the stupidest people I've ever seen in my entire life on my TV screen. This man is like chasing after the Women's World Championship as if he can win it. Boy, what are you doing? So obviously he betrays Rhea earlier last year to go be with Liv, cheats on her, whole dramatic thing, makes out with Liv at SummerSlam, this whole big thing, right? So now he cemented his relationship with Liv Morgan until last night when he betrayed her. How could you betray Liv Morgan? But like, I'm just baffled. So what happened was Dom got back into the ring after Rhea won. Liv was, I think, laying on the ground, so she had no clue what was going on. He goes into the ring and tries to hug Rhea and is like, let's make amends. Let's start over. And I'm like, oh my God, you clout chaser. He just wants to be relevant again. So Rhea pretends like she's going to accept his apology and everything and goes to give him a hug. She puts the title down and then kicks him in the nuts. And I was like, yes, Rhea, you slay, girlfriend. You ate the house down. So I was very happy with that. She absolutely denied him. And now I don't know what's going to happen. Next week on Monday Night Raw should be very, very interesting because obviously Liv is going to see what happened last night and is going to be like, what the hell, Dom? You betrayed me to try and go back with Rhea. And so now, is this the beginning of the end for the Judgment Day? Honestly, ever since Damian and Rhea left, I haven't been a fan of the Judgment Day. I was a huge Judgment Day truther. Even back in, 22 or 23 when they started the Judgment Day with Edge and everything. So, now I don't care for the Judgment Day. Finn pisses me off. He's just controlling, and Raquel's there for no reason. Carlito's there for no reason. JD's funny, but not that much. And then Liv and Dom are like really the relevant points of that group. So I'm intrigued to see what happens. Then Rhea takes her title, walks up the ramp, goes back to like the beginning of the entrance, and she raises her title high. First of all, Pyro Man, where you at? Because no pyro went off for her and I was pissed. Whatever, another topic for another day. And then the gong hits. And everybody lost their minds. I posted some reaction videos earlier today on my Instagram and TikTok if you want to go check them out, and that was one of them. I lost my mind when I heard that gong. I mean, I feel like that's like a very common thing. Like everybody in the wrestling community, when you hear that gong, it's just like game over. But I was so shocked that he came out for Rhea. I mean, really, he just rode around his bike around the ring and then just came and celebrated with her. And I was like, period. And I said I did a live stream last night, a watch along, and I had said like, oh my God, she low-key gives like his daughter energy because they're like so similar in vibes. And I just thought it was so funny. But yeah, so that's a really cool moment for Rhea and for Taker, and just like it was a whole vibe, a whole moment, if you will. The aura was through the roof. And I just can't imagine being Rhea Ripley in that moment and like getting to have a moment with The Undertaker. Like that is so cool. Right after you win your championship. It was absolutely insane. And now we have to remember that this is a Monday Night Raw. As much as it feels like a WrestleMania or a PLE, it is still Monday Night Raw. So we had a backstage segment with America Made and Adam Pearce. Chad Gable was complaining and asking Adam Pearce like, hey, I need a match next week and I want a match with the best luchador you have. Now, Triple H did say in the post conference after the show last night, or the press conference, that we could probably guess who it was. It's been very obvious, and there's been clues week after week on Raw, and obviously it's Penta from AEW. For those of you who do not watch AEW, Penta is a super phenomenal luchador. He was a big star in AEW, and now he's making his way over to the WWE. And I got questions asking what I think about Penta, and honestly, he was never one of my top favorites when I was still watching AEW. He's very good, very entertaining, but he just never really caught my attention too much. Like he was never somebody I would turn on AEW to watch specifically. But you never know. That might translate different in WWE and he might do significantly better. I mean, I think he's worth winning some gold, and I think there's going to be a big pop for him next week because obviously when you have talent come over from AEW, it's always a big deal. And so I think it's going to be great. Moving right along in the show, we got Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. Now this match was so good. I felt like the crowd was very split between the two. There was a lot of Jey Uso chants, a lot of Drew McIntyre chants. And so honestly, I was a little confused, but this match didn't have terribly much storytelling as the other matches did, but one thing that I really did enjoy, besides the fact that it was so entertaining, was the ending. Sometimes WWE doesn't have the greatest endings when it comes to matches like this, where they're kind of prepared a little bit last minute. I think this match was announced like last week, so it was kind of last minute, but honestly, I really enjoyed the ending. So Drew McIntyre went to go give Jey Uso the Claymore, but then ended up slipping, and Jey pinned him. He did a roll-up, he did a pin, and put all his body weight on him, and he won. And that might not sound like the craziest thing ever, but if you go back and watch it, the crowd was so intense. It was such an exciting moment, and then Jey won. And so we all love main event Jey Uso. We all love to yeet. And so that was just a fun ending. It was a little bit different. Didn't expect that. I thought Drew was going to win that moment. I mean, he was going for his finisher. So I thought that was really fun. And then the next thing that happened after that was Hulk Hogan's appearance. He came out to promote Netflix, and I don't know if he promoted something else, but I think he just came out to promote Netflix. And then after that was the main event. We had Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, and guys, this was probably one of my most highly anticipated matches of the night, besides probably Rhea, to be honest. The intensity from the get-go was through the roof. I felt like the roof was about to literally pop off. I'm being so serious. The crowd was quite literally yelling 85% of that match. And then you could really see Seth's red eyes. And I don't mean literally. I just mean in the sense of like he saw red when he looked at Punk. And I think he really got it all out of his system, or not fully, because I think he's always going to hate Punk And with Punk, it's a little different because he doesn't have the same hatred towards Seth Rollins. I think now he's just like annoyed by him because of all this extra fluff and all of this nonsense that Seth really has created. So I just think it was crazy. The match, they even went into the crowd at a point, which just was crazy. And then something that I thought was so funny that I really enjoyed is that they were petty. Like, petty. They were doing each other's moves nonstop. And CM Punk said in the press conference after Raw that that was the first time ever that he got hit with the GTS, which is his finisher. And he said, I feel so bad for anybody who I've ever done that to because it hurts. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. And so he did the pedigree, he did the stomp on Rollins, and then Rollins did the GTS on him. And it honestly was a war. This felt more intense than Survivor Series War Games, if I'm being completely honest with you. And that was a crazy match. So for this to be a step above was just, next level. It was just so awesome. I think the crowd probably for 45% of that match was just chanting, "This is awesome." It was crazy. I was even chanting it from my living room. It was crazy. You could feel the animosity and the hatred through the screen. And it was, like I said, it was just so intense. I don't think I even have enough words and enough strong words to fully describe how that match was. Again, if you guys haven't watched it or need to finish it or want to watch it again, please do so. It's on Netflix for replay. And something that's really cool is that Netflix finally added a new set of profile pictures. So if you're on Netflix, when you go to edit your profile, that you can pick different characters from different TV shows and whatnot, and they added WWE ones. There's Rhea Ripley, CM Punk. I'm trying to remember them all. I think it's Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and possibly Asuka. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I think it's those though. And so obviously I put Rhea as my cover, but that's besides the point. So it was great, and I think this was probably the perfect main event for this show. I know a lot of people wanted the tribal combat match as the main event, but I think this had to be the main event. Everyone was waiting for this match. The build-up, even when Punk was still in AEW, the build-up was crazy because Seth Rollins would be talking about Punk in a 2K interview. It was crazy. So this now leads us to the question of, is there more to this rivalry? Or is this over? CM Punk actually got asked that question in the presser last night. And he said, I don't think this is the last time I'll ever wrestle Seth Rollins, but for now, this is the end. He's like, I have bigger things in front of me. I want to go win the Royal Rumble. I want to go main event WrestleMania. And he's not the champion, so he's out of my way. And so I was like, okay, go off, King. Now, Seth Rollins is probably going to have a harder time detaching from this. And I do expect him to probably cut a promo next week on Raw. So let's see. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that in the comments, because while I think there is much to still expand on this story, at the same time, I also feel like maybe they could leave it here and then expand further down the line a year or two from now and revisit that. Because I do think that Punk is at a point in his career where he's not as young as Seth, where, he probably has another decade in him. I think Punk's days are numbered. I'm not saying he's going to retire next year. I definitely do think he has like a couple years left, but he doesn't have all that time to really postpone the Rumble and Mania. And you know what? If they have plans in store for him, then, why not? Give it a go. I would love to see him to win the Rumble. Obviously, John Cena wants to win the Royal Rumble. So I don't know. It's definitely going to be interesting to say the least, but I do think that Seth Rollins did get injured. I'm not exactly sure where, but he was limping to get out of the ring, and he had a super big cut along his cheek. So hopefully he gets that situated and fixed up. But if not, then we'll see. We won't see him for a while. But my overall thoughts, it was an absolutely incredible show. 10 out of 10. No skips, so many fun matches, so many appearances and surprises. Obviously, we saw The Rock, John Cena, The Undertaker, and just so many fun celebrities in the crowd, which I didn't even expect. There were so many actors there. I know Vanessa Hudgens was there, Tiffany Haddish. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Macaulay, whatever, the guy from Home Alone. He was there. The jump scare of the century. If you guys were watching my stream last night, I couldn't stop talking about the fact that Nikki Bella was there. Hello? Bella Army Unite. Because if you guys remember the drama between the Bellas in WWE last year, I think WWE had like uninvited them to Mania or something like that. And then they got super salty on Instagram Live and was like trashing WWE. And so for her to be there, like I saw her on the red carpet. I saw pictures and videos come out and I was already streaming and I was like freaking out. And then obviously when John Cena cut his promo, I was like, oh my gosh, she's in the audience watching that, like low key cringe. And like, I wonder how she's feeling, especially with the whole Artem situation, who's her ex husband. I was just like, tea. But yeah, so I definitely do think that this was the biggest night in WWE history and in Raw's history. I don't think there's a day, a show that really could top this. I think WWE getting to expand their audience. I mean, WWE is already a super big company, but for them to be able to get on the biggest streaming platform in the entire world, Netflix. I mean, everybody has Netflix. Everybody is always watching Netflix. There's something for everybody on there. And for WWE to have that exposure, even if you're not a wrestling fan, but like every Monday, if you just click onto Netflix, you're going to see Raw right there in front of you when you open the app or open the website. And so, I mean, they're just going to be exposed to a whole new audience. And I think WWE is finally being taken serious by the public. I mean, obviously wrestling fans, love it and it's something we're passionate about, but I think the real world and Hollywood is really taking this seriously now. I mean, like I said, they have so many athletes, influencers, actresses, executives and producers from Netflix and even from other companies. And just, they put on a 5-star show. There was nothing about this show that was bad. And they just really did the most. They produced the best quality content possible. I mean, I know WrestleMania 40 was impeccable. It was incredibly amazing, but this definitely does give it a run for its money and dare I say was a little bit better. And I mean, it was just incredible beginning, middle, end. This new era is off to a great start and Triple H just is a mastermind. And in I think 90% of 80 or 90% of the globe, I don't remember the percentage, literally everywhere but the US, you can also watch SmackDown, NXT, and all PLEs on Netflix, which is so cool. But the US only has Raw right now, but you can still watch SmackDown on the USA Network, NXT on the CW, and PLEs on Peacock if you are in the States. That's pretty cool for international fans. It's all in one spot. And they also have a few little like series up on Netflix as well. So they have like Raw archives and Legends stories and WWE superstar profiles. I don't know. I still have to watch it. There's still like a lot of new content there that's really exciting. Thank you guys so much for listening to my very first podcast episode. I am so excited to embark on this new journey of podcasting, expand to a larger audience, give you guys new and fresh content every single week. Today, we just recapped Raw's debut on Netflix, but every week I will be also recapping not just Raw, but SmackDown. So you will get that next week from this coming Friday SmackDown, if that makes sense. And then obviously I'll be doing previews and recaps of PLEs every month. And in a few months, I have some very exciting episodes coming, perhaps with a special guest or two. But you guys will have to follow along and wait for that one because I don't have the exact date. But, sooner than later it'll happen and I'm very excited about it. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. You can follow me at It's Victoria AZ across all social platforms and Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.